And this morning I turned on this movie. I thought it was going to be like some Halloween movie or something. I go on to other channels, try and find something to watch. Like I've tried to start that squid show, whatever. I, I couldn't even get past the first, few minutes where the guy steals his mom's money and goes to the horse races. I was like, oh my God, I can't even. I'm just tired of what they're feeding us. I can't even tell you how many shows or movies start and it's just like a few minutes in and it's like, oh my God, it's very difficult to find stuff to watch. So, I went back on YouTube. That's always my go-to, like when everything else is failing, because it's, so many different options. You can watch educational stuff, you can watch spiritual stuff, you can watch UFO stuff, you can watch movies, you can watch music. I mean, it's like so much stuff. News, alternative news. They have the other on there too, but like, I don't know why anybody would bother with that. So anyways, I was on there in the morning. I usually get up and I'll turn on the stuff that I have on right now, that calming meditation kind of. It raises your frequency. It feels you, like you feel it and get yourself back into balance, because when you think about when your water and the frequency, when you go in and watch those tests, what happens to the water? And you're listening to horrible music, it all turns into horrible, ugly patterns. When you listen to calming music or good music or something that's uplifting, like this kind of stuff, it is, the water would develop beautiful patterns like snowflakes and stuff. So it really is a good effect on you, even though it seems kind of like strange or corny or whatever, but I really like it. So I had that on, and there was a few movies that had popped up. And that one, it was called Dark Witch or something like that, Blood Witch or something like that. I figured it was a Halloween movie. And it's almost Halloween. So I was like, I like supernatural movies, and it was like an old-timey witch movie. So I thought, oh, well, I mean, you could tell by the clothes on the ad. So I was like, oh, those would be good. As soon as I turned it on, it's like, this is a true story of, it wasn't a duchess, it was a countess, I think she was. A countess from the 1300s or something like that, and whatever it was, she was found guilty of killing at least 650 kids. And so she was just kidnapping kids, orphan kids, back in those days where a lot of kids were left orphaned because parents died younger, and there wasn't birth control, so they'd have kids up until whenever. And so a lot of kids would be left as orphans. And, a lot of them were resilient. Like the one in the show, I don't know if they were a real ones that they knew of or whatever, how historically correct, because we know that they're constantly messing with history. And that is one thing too, because yesterday I had seen where this movie came up. It was a new movie, and it said, our true history. It's like, why would we believe that? Our true history? And so, yeah, it's all lies, 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 lies. But, I don't know why somebody would make this one up, because it's exposing something that was very horrible. And this woman, she was having these kids kidnapped. Like, she had people, minions under her that were doing her dirty work and helping her to be able to do this, right? And they got justice. They ended up horrible deaths, all of them put to death in really horrible ways. Well, kind of like beheading. I think that kind of would be the fastest, easiest. I think the guillotine was kind of like a mercy kind of way. Even the guy with the big old hatchet, oh, that's how they did it back in this time. But she's bathing in the kid's blood, and she had a whole thing set up over her tub to just put him up there and drain him in. It's just, I really think that Mary Shelley, wasn't Mary Shelley the one who wrote about the vampires? Or did she write about Frankenstein? Now I can't remember. But if whoever it was who wrote about the vampires, I think that they knew something. I mean, I think they were really telling something that they knew of that was really going on. Because there's too much similarities with these people who live off of blood and children's blood and stuff like that. Like, it's too much a part of history to just be like, and, you know, we know that there's people currently that are doing that. You know, I mean, obviously they can still eat ice cream and they can still go out in the light. So it's, you know, not as the same, but, you know, still living off of children's blood, even anyone's blood, is, you know, severely disturbing. And, you know, in that movie, it was, I don't know, it just really got me thinking about how long this has been going on. It's been going on for so long, where the aristocrats have put themselves above us. And in this one too, you know, she would have these extravagant dinners, you know, and she's all dressed fancy, and, you know, people kissing her ass. You know, she's just killing people, and oh my gosh. And having other fancy people come to dance and listen to music. And then all of these people who are down in the courtyard, the peasants, the slaves, they're all, you know, down there starving, you know, having to share food with dogs. And, which, by the way, you know, that is kind of a thing with animals, you know, the hierarchy of eating. And I don't understand this throw away your food before you give it to your dog. I really don't get that concept at all. To not share the food. To think, oh no, the dog's got that cardboard. Go chew on that cardboard. Fuck them. Let's throw away the food. It's like, I don't know. People have a lot to learn about other beings on this planet, other animals as being living beings. You know, they may have been trained to be so disconnected, but still, I mean, you have inner guidance. You have something inside of you that's talking to you. You choose not to listen. You choose, you know, you may have the battle. Your battle may be a lot more significant than someone else's. You may have that devil on your shoulder just as loud as that angel on your shoulder. I don't know. I just know if you go and you listen to this one, you always end up feeling bad. It always ends up not going the way you are hoping. This one will always direct you and towards something good. Even if it seems like it's not going so great in the beginning, it always will be directed into a more positive way. You know, listening to this one is always going to bring you down. So, you know, it may be a lot to decipher for some people, but, you know, you do have some you have internal guidance. You just have to connect to it, you know, and listen to it. And one thing, they came and got my car this morning to get towed to see about getting fixed. And, you know, I was really thankful when it broke down in my driveway. I mean, how lucky. If I would have broke down out with the dogs or something, and what an ordeal. And so I felt like really a lot of gratitude where it broke down. You know, that was really great. So that part was good. And, you know, the reason I'm telling this is before I was healing and all that stuff, any kind of little thing like that, like the car breaking down, on top of the other things, you know, it's just like, oh my God, I can never get ahead. Oh my God, this stuff. Just one thing after another, just beating you down. It's like you can't ever get ahead. And it just feels like, so overwhelming sometimes, right? And so it's the change to me was, so the car broke. And I, you know, went at it, you know, grateful that it broke in my driveway. You know, not knowing, you know, how am I going to pay for this? You know, when you know how expensive these cars are, you know, to work on. They charge us a fortune to buy them. And then every little part, these computer cars that they've created, you know, that a little chip. It costs you thousands of dollars. Your car won't run without it. So, anyways, anytime your car breaks down, it's like, oh my God, how much is this going to cost? Like, we all have just extra money sitting around, pay for that. So, I just refused to give that energy to it. I refused to get burdened by it and feel, like, oh my God, I can't, to go into it like that. Because, I needed to go to the store. I needed to go do some stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm not even, because if that was super necessary, it would be taken care of. I've got it into my head now that, I'm taken care of. I don't have to fight for what I want. I just have to go with the flow. So, I was like, okay, I called the mechanic. I told him the stuff that's going on and asked about a tow. And he didn't tell I was going to have to call somebody. So I thought, well, I'm going to call my roadside assistance. Because, some mechanics, they have enough staff that they go pick up a car if you're going to get it fixed there. But this is a small place for that, I guess. And so I called my roadside assistant, and it didn't cost anything. And they came and got the car and took it. So that saved me money right there. And now I'm, just waiting to hear what's wrong with it. And, I'm just going to stay hopeful. I'm just going to stay positive. And I think that is what we need to start doing for ourselves. Don't get into that, that panic, that mindset of like, the world's out to get me. I can't get ahead, because it feels like I used to live in there. I used to live in that kind of state, like, oh my God, just drama, drama, drama. And then now something can happen and I don't feel that, and it can, cause me problems, but I'm not going to, get all tore up about it, and so I'm just saying that, to kind of work towards that is helpful for your own state of being, because the worry and stress affects you. So when you release that and know, like, it's going to be okay. It's all going to work out fine. I don't have to worry about it. Things work out. They always work out. And when you direct your energy towards positive, you bring the positive back towards you. When you keep putting out like crisis, 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 you keep bringing that back towards you. You keep bringing back what you're putting out. And that's why it's really important to be mindful of what you're putting out, because it's always going to come back at you. And, and another thing I was thinking about, what they tell me, is how important it is to really be mindful in your present now moment, to really be present in that moment, to be a part of the present time, not to be thinking of the past. And, you can think about the future, because that is the direction, you focus your direction on where you want to go. So you can think about it, but don't stress out about it. Don't start breaking it down like, oh my God, this may happen, that may happen. That's fear. That's that what if, what if, what if, what if. Don't go into that energy, but you can, think about what you want your future to be. But in your present moment, if you're not in that moment, because everything's temporary. Everything is temporary. So if you are like in this time right now, being locked in the house for so long, and, I know there's an end in sight. I know it's not going to be forever, but you can definitely sit and be like, oh my God, another day of this. Oh my God, how long will this go? You can go into it just feeling like beat down and just wore out by the whole thing, and not appreciating it. And so then I started thinking, I really got to just appreciate this time, because this time is temporary. This isn't going to be forever. And this time of just sitting here, being relaxed and having time just to myself, and time with Stella, and time in this house, because I know I'm not going to be here year round. And, I hope to have Stella a lot longer. She's having a really, really hard time yesterday and today because she went out and ran. I wish that I could get her to understand more. I keep talking to her, trying to get her to understand. But, you know, just communication gap. And I did notice the other day, because she went out and when the dogs start talking in the neighborhood, it's like they talk in Morse code. Like bark, 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 bark. And then another one will go bark, bark, bark. You know, like they really have a communication going. I find it so fascinating how they communicate and how they watch the neighborhood. They report to each other as someone is going in the neighborhood that they don't recognize, or even if someone's out with their dogs or whatever, they always let you know that there's something going on. And, you know, but I think they're underappreciated. I think there's a lot of people who just look at them as like, they're animals. Who cares? Human, you know, mankind has a lot to learn to be more inclusive to all beings. You know, I had just seen a thing about how much life is really on this planet. And look how much life that we think is on this planet. We think we're the only things that matter. And there's been so much abuse of so many animals on this planet for so long. So much abuse of just the planet itself. So, you know, this is why this time, this transition period, you know, I keep hearing people, oh, we're in the age of Aquarius now. It's like, this isn't the age of Aquarius now. We're still in the transition. The age of Aquarius, when we're in the age of Aquarius, is going to be about abundancy and love, and it's where we have control of the situation, and we're so much closer. But we're still in that transition. We're still in that purge. We're still in that release of this toxic energy, this energy that has been placed here on this planet to enslave us and to keep us controlled, you know, and, you know, all these beings are waking up. You know, their consciousness is becoming aware of this planet, of what's going on this planet, who's in control of this planet, what the end game is on this planet. And the people waking up are like, oh, hell no. And in the healing and the recognition, that is where we're going to end up being when we get to the age of Aquarius. We're still in the process, but when we get there, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be really grand. It's going to be great. It's going to be what we all thought life should be, and we are going to create that. This is the reprioritizing for man to be able, man and woman and whoever else wants to be included. You know, this is this transition so that we can recognize what do we want for our new world? What is it that we want in this world? And it's freedom. It's freedom to be able to live the way we want. And, you know, when I very first started waking up, that was one of the big things that really was coming to me, is like, how do they sell us the planet? Whoever told them they owned the planet? And then they turn around and sell us little pieces and tell us that we have to pay to live here. We have to pay for power. We have to pay for water. We have to, you know, do all this stuff to have a job and stuff, you know. So all of that stuff that just didn't make any sense. That stuff is going to end. Like, we're watching it. We're watching it end. It's blowing up as we speak. And in the new, yeah, we're going to create that. And that's why I say it's going to be very different, a lot of different communities, because we're not all alike. We're all unique. And we will find our groups. We will find the people that we align with. And, you know, people will build communities, and we will start living free lives the way that we want to live, the way we choose to live. And, you know, it's going to be a beautiful thing. But don't get caught up in thinking, oh my God, this is the age of Aquarius. It's just like the last one, isn't it? Horrible. You know, this is the end of a horrible and the beginning of something great. We're just, you know, still in that little process to get there. So, you know, just stay positive and work on yourself and work on your health. And, you know, it's really important right now. is to really focus on your health, what you're putting in your mouth, what you're doing in your movement, your breathing, your time to yourself, all of it. Really focus on you and your needs. And, that's all you can really do. And, there was another thing too. Oh, because yesterday I had seen this movie. I don't think I watched it. I only saw the first few minutes of it. And I did that so many times yesterday. I just kept switching and switching. But one thing in the movie that I did like, I made a TikTok out of it because it showed how I think a lot of people are living. And a lot of people are living in relationships that they're just so unhappy. They're miserable. Just like they're living in jobs that they're so unhappy, they're miserable. This is where you have to take that control. You have to take that power in your life, And I hope that there is a lot of relationships out there that really are based on love, and they really can find that love and come back to one another, But there's a lot of stuff that has to be broken down. There's a lot of pain that people carry that they need to heal. And, this world has been so detrimental. It's been on purpose to break down families. And, we know what they've been doing, and we can see what they're doing now, and we can see the end game. So, it's been very difficult for a lot of people for a long time. A lot of single moms who are just, barely surviving, and, and then having kids taken, and, it's just so much stuff. But, all the things that are happening to you in your individual life, the more you can work on yourself and heal yourself, the more your relationships and stuff will start coming together in a more healthy way. But, everything starts with self. Everything starts with you. And so, just keep working on yourself, and everything that comes at you that feels like, even if it feels like it's somebody else, like it's their fault, you're never going to heal if you're just blaming somebody else all the time. Nothing will heal. You can't change anybody else. You can't fix anybody else. You can only fix you. So work on yourself all the time. When something's coming at you and it seems like it's them, take some time. Go in and sit with that. And, ask your guides the questions. What is it you want me to see from this? They'll tell you. And a lot of stuff will come up. Old wounds, things that you need to see about yourself. And, heal them. Heal them. Because as you heal them, I'm telling you, it's like releasing weights off of you. It's like really, it is like getting all of this heavy stuff that you carry around. It is just releasing it, and you just feel so much better. So just keep working on you, and have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.